You step out into your garden on a quiet, crisp morning and notice a familiar shape waiting. A small bird with a bright red breast is sitting on the exact same branch of your fence. It watches you quietly as you pick up your garden spade to begin the work for the day. And you might find yourself wondering why the same robin keeps returning to your garden year after year. Is it really the same bird that sat on that exact same branch last spring? And more importantly, what is it actually looking for when it decides to come back to you? The truth is that this return is not just a random coincidence or a lucky accident. When a robin chooses to stay in your garden, it is making a practical survival choice. Researchers suggest that these birds possess an incredible ability to map out their surrounding environment. Today, we are going to look closely at the hidden reasons behind this remarkable site fidelity. We will explore how your garden has become a vital part of its carefully drawn mental map, and we will uncover the signs that show whether your robin has truly learned to trust you. Let us begin by observing what happens when the seasons change and the weather grows colder. You might assume that small garden birds wander aimlessly looking for whatever food they can find, but garden observers often notice that their robin has a very specific daily routine and preferred spots. It might claim the handle of your old wheelbarrow or the highest branch of your oak tree, and it returns to these specific perches with a level of consistency that feels almost intentional. In many cases, a robin can return to familiar territories across seasons when those places remain safe and useful. This means the bird you see today could very well be the same one from last autumn. It does not just stay in the general area. It actively guards the specific boundaries of your yard. You might see it chasing away other birds that dare to land on its chosen feeding ground. It patrols the borders of the hedges and sings loudly to announce its claim to the space. Even in the depths of winter, it maintains a vigilant watch over the most useful parts of the garden. This behavior shows a profound attachment to a very specific piece of land that it calls home. It is treating your property as a vital sanctuary that is worth defending when resources are limited. But why does it choose your garden out of all the possible places in the neighborhood? The answer lies in how the robin evaluates the safety and usefulness of the surrounding environment. Robins can show strong site fidelity when a territory remains safe and provides a consistent food source. This site fidelity means they have a deep biological drive to return to places that proved successful. If your garden offered enough shelter and food to help it survive the harsh winter months, then the robin will prioritize returning to that exact location when the next season rolls around. It may not be choosing you in a human sense of affection or emotional attachment, but it can learn which routines are safe and which environments offer the best chance of survival. And this learning process is heavily dependent on the bird having an incredibly detailed spatial memory. A robin does not just see a garden, it creates an intricate mental map of the entire space. It knows exactly where the earthworms tend to gather after a heavy morning rain shower. It remembers which corner of the hedge holds the most spiders when autumn begins to set in. It even knows which bushes offer the thickest cover when a cold wind blows from the north. This mental map is constantly being updated as the seasons change and the garden slowly evolves. Garden observers often notice the bird paying close attention when a compost heap is turned over. It remembers the cycle of the compost and knows when it is most likely to yield food. Your garden has been built into its working memory of the space, mapping out every resource and every hiding spot. This level of detail is essential because finding food quickly is a matter of daily survival. But there is another crucial element in this map, and that element is actually you. The behavior of approaching humans in gardens has evolved over thousands of years in European robins. Long ago, these birds learned to follow wild animals that rooted through the dense forest floor. When agriculture began, they adapted to follow farmers who were plowing the fields and turning the soil. Today, when it flies toward you, it may simply view you as a harmless surrogate plough. Your movements with a spade or a trowel help to expose valuable insects hidden beneath the soil. You are effectively doing the heavy lifting, providing a vital source of energy for the small bird. This means your daily gardening routine is actually a highly anticipated event for the robin. So its decision to return is partly because you are a reliable part of its food network. But providing food is only one side of the equation when it comes to site fidelity. The robin also has to evaluate the level of threat you pose to its daily safety. And this is where the concept of learned trust becomes a fascinating part of its behavior. A robin does not have a species-wide instinct to automatically trust all human beings. It does not inherently know that the person holding the spade is a friend rather than a predator. Instead, it relies on individual experience to determine if a specific human is safe to approach. It can differentiate between a safe human who moves predictably and an unknown human who might be dangerous. The fact that it grows bolder around you in many cases is the direct result of this learned trust. It has observed your actions over a long period of time and carefully assessed the risk level. Because you have proven to be a safe presence, it incorporates you into its survival strategy. We must also understand that this decision to stay or return carries a significant survival cost. Returning to a familiar territory requires a bird to overcome numerous environmental challenges and fierce competition. The winter months are incredibly harsh, and the mortality rate for small birds is unfortunately very high. A garden must have adequate roosting cover to protect the bird from freezing nighttime temperatures. If the garden becomes too exposed or the food supply vanishes, the bird will be forced to leave. Therefore, a returning robin is a bird that has successfully navigated the dangers of the natural world. When researchers suggest that a robin is returning to a place that once kept it alive, they highlight the immense pressure these birds face just to make it through another challenging year. So, how can you apply this knowledge when you step into your own garden tomorrow morning? First, try to observe the specific perches your robin uses and see if they remain consistent. You might notice it favors a particular fence post or a specific branch on a favorite shrub. Recognize that this consistency is evidence of its detailed mental map and its strong site fidelity. Second, pay attention to how the bird reacts when you begin your gardening work with a spade. If it drops down to inspect the freshly turned soil, you are witnessing the surrogate plough behavior. It is utilizing your presence to find the hidden insects it needs to survive the day. You can support this relationship by leaving small patches of leaf litter undisturbed in the corners. These quiet areas provide natural foraging grounds that the bird will remember and return to later. Also, be mindful of your movements, keeping them steady and predictable to maintain that learned trust. Avoid sudden loud noises or rapid gestures that might force the bird to reassess your threat level. Providing a consistent source of fresh water is another excellent way to encourage its return. If you create an environment that offers both food and safety, the robin will likely stay. It is quite remarkable to think that your backyard is an important part of this small creature's daily world. Every time you look out the window and see that familiar flash of red on the fence, you are looking at a survivor that has returned to a space that has worked for it before. It may not be a choice made out of human affection, but it is a choice nonetheless. A choice driven by a deep biological need for security, consistency, and a reliable source of nourishment. And by simply being a calm and predictable presence, you become an important part of its world. You are written into the map of its territory, a trusted feature in a landscape of uncertainty. It keeps returning because it knows the garden and feels secure in the environment you have provided. But does it actually recognize you as an individual, or just as a safe, moving object? The answer lies in how it looks at your face when you walk out the back door. Your robin may remember your face, and the way it measures you is truly fascinating. We will explore exactly how this facial recognition works in the next video right here.